Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. Thanks. And you?
Fine, too. Thanks. Can you tell us about your previous work experience?
Yes, I have worked in customer service for the past 5 years, handling inquiries and resolving issues for customers.
How do you handle difficult customers?
I try to remain calm and understanding, and I work to find a solution that satisfies the customer while also following company policies.
What skills do you possess that make you a good fit for this role?
I have strong communication skills, attention to detail, and the ability to work well under pressure.
How do you prioritize your tasks when you have multiple deadlines?
I prioritize tasks based on urgency and importance, and I make sure to communicate with my team to ensure we are all on the same page.
Can you give an example of a time when you had to work as part of a team to achieve a goal?
Yes, in my previous role, I worked with a team to implement a new customer service system, and we successfully met our deadline while ensuring a smooth transition for customers.
How do you stay organized in a fast-paced work environment?
I use to-do lists, calendars, and prioritization techniques to stay on top of my tasks and deadlines.
How do you handle constructive criticism?
I see constructive criticism as an opportunity for growth, and I take feedback seriously and work to improve based on it.
Can you give an example of a time when you had to think outside the box to solve a problem?
In a previous role, I had a customer with a unique issue that required a creative solution. I worked with my team to brainstorm ideas and ultimately found a solution that satisfied the customer.
How do you handle stress in the workplace?
I practice mindfulness techniques, take breaks when needed, and prioritize self-care to manage stress effectively.
What motivates you to perform well in your job?
I am motivated by the opportunity to make a positive impact, both for the company and for customers. I also strive to continuously improve and grow in my role.
How do you handle confidential information in the workplace?
I understand the importance of confidentiality and follow company policies and procedures to ensure that sensitive information is protected.
Can you give an example of a time when you had to multitask and how you managed it?
In my previous role, I had to handle multiple customer inquiries while also assisting with a project deadline. I prioritized tasks, communicated with my team, and managed my time effectively to successfully complete all responsibilities.
How do you stay updated on industry trends and developments?
I regularly attend industry conferences, participate in online courses, and read industry publications to stay informed and up to date on trends and developments.
How do you handle a situation where you disagree with a colleague's approach to a project?
I believe in open communication and collaboration, so I would discuss my concerns with the colleague in a respectful manner and work together to find a solution that aligns with our goals.
Can you give an example of a time when you had to meet a tight deadline and how you managed to complete the task on time?
In a previous role, I had to prepare a report for a client on short notice. I prioritized tasks, worked efficiently, and communicated with team members to ensure we met the deadline successfully.
How do you handle a situation where you make a mistake at work?
I take ownership of my mistakes, communicate openly about the issue, and work to rectify the situation and prevent similar mistakes in the future.
How do you handle conflicting priorities in your work?
I prioritize tasks based on urgency and impact, and I communicate with my team to ensure that everyone is aligned on priorities and expectations.
Can you give an example of a time when you had to adapt to a change in the work environment?
In a previous role, our team underwent a restructuring and roles and responsibilities changed. I adapted by learning new skills, collaborating with new team members, and embracing the change positively.
How do you handle feedback from your supervisor?
I welcome feedback from my supervisor as an opportunity for growth and improvement. I listen attentively, reflect on the feedback, and take action to address any areas for development.
What are your career goals for the next 5 years?
My goal is to continue growing in my career, taking on new challenges and responsibilities, and advancing in my field through continuous learning and development.
How do you handle a situation where you have to work with a difficult team member?
I believe in approaching the situation with empathy and open communication. I would try to understand their perspective, address any underlying issues, and work towards finding common ground to collaborate effectively.
Can you give an example of a time when you had to take on a leadership role in a project?
In a previous project, our team leader had to take unexpected leave, and I stepped up to lead the team in their absence. I delegated tasks, ensured clear communication, and successfully completed the project on time.
How do you ensure effective communication with team members who work remotely?
I prioritize regular check-ins, use various communication tools such as video conferencing and messaging platforms, and establish clear expectations and goals to maintain effective communication with remote team members.
How do you handle a situation where you need to learn new skills or technologies for a project?
I am proactive in seeking out resources, training, and mentorship to learn new skills or technologies. I also leverage online courses and tutorials to enhance my knowledge and capabilities.
Can you give an example of a time when you had to resolve a conflict within a team?
In a previous project, there was a disagreement between team members over the approach to a task. I facilitated a discussion, encouraged open communication, and helped the team find a compromise that satisfied everyone.
How do you ensure that you meet deadlines consistently?
I create detailed project plans, set milestones, and regularly track progress to ensure that I stay on schedule and meet deadlines consistently.
How do you handle a situation where you have to work with a team member who is not pulling their weight?
I also communicate any potential roadblocks to my team early on to address them proactively. I believe in addressing the issue directly and professionally.
How do you prioritize tasks when you have multiple projects on your plate?
I would have a one-on-one discussion with a team member to understand any challenges they may be facing and work together to find a solution that ensures equal contribution from everyone.
How do you handle a situation where you are faced with conflicting feedback from different team members?
I assess the urgency and importance of each task, consult with stakeholders to understand priorities, and create a plan that allocates time and resources effectively to ensure all projects are completed on time.
How do you handle a situation where you need to work with a tight budget?
I would carefully evaluate the feedback from each team member, seek clarification on their perspectives, and work towards finding common ground or a compromise that addresses the concerns raised by all parties.
Can you give an example of a time when you had to quickly adapt to a change in project scope?
I prioritize essential expenses, look for cost-effective solutions, and negotiate with vendors to stay within the budget while ensuring quality and efficiency in the project.
How do you stay motivated during challenging projects?
In a previous project, the client requested additional features at the last minute. I quickly adjusted the project plan, reassigned tasks, and communicated with the team to successfully deliver the expanded scope on time.
How do you handle a situation where you need to work with team members from diverse backgrounds?
I stay motivated by focusing on the end goal, breaking down complex tasks into manageable steps, celebrating small victories, and seeking support from team members when needed.
Can you give an example of a time when you had to present a project to senior management?
I value diversity and inclusion, so I approach the situation with respect, empathy, and open-mindedness. I strive to understand different perspectives, communicate effectively, and foster a collaborative and inclusive work environment.
How do you handle a situation where you need to deliver bad news to a client or team member?
In a previous role, I presented a project proposal to senior management, highlighting key objectives, strategies, and outcomes.
How do you ensure that you maintain a work-life balance?
I prepared thoroughly, addressed potential questions, and received positive feedback on the presentation.
Can you give an example of a time when you had to work under pressure and how you managed the situation?
I believe in transparency and honesty, so I would communicate the bad news respectfully, provide context and possible solutions, and work towards finding a resolution that minimizes negative impact and maintains trust.